that because that's part of the agenda.
Is it?
Start recruiting. Thank you.
Well, no, I think it's just go.
Yeah, it's extra pages.
Yeah.
Okay. Grecken?
Here.
Moore?
Here.
Shaner? Here. Scott?
Here.
Waters?
Here.
We stand for a moment of silent prayer. When we do, would you remember the family of Judy Nichols? Judy was a longtime city employee, lost her battle with cancer this week, and we just would like you to acknowledge her and remember her and her family.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I read a proclamation, Mary, you want to come up and do your thing?
Hi, I'm Mary Coaster, and I am the Youth Services Director for a coordinator for Siouxland Cares.
Yeah.
I mostly work with the Mayor's Youth Commission and the Sioux City Young Ambassadors. I did put my card in front of you in case you would ever need me, but it's come to our attention that you have not met Siouxland Cares' new executive director. She took over mid-March. Her name is Rachel Lundgren, and she's the executive director for Siouxland Cares. And she's going to come and talk to you this morning or this afternoon. And also, we've brought with us Michelle Lewis, who is the Health Promotions and Planning Coordinator for Siouxland District Health, and she is the president of the Siouxland Cares Board of Directors. So I'd like to introduce them to you, and they'll tell a little bit about themselves. And then if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Perfect. Thanks, Mary.
Hi, everybody. I know some of you pretty well already. My name is Rachel Lundgren. Before I moved into the executive director role, I did actually work at Siouxland Cares for 2 years previous to that as the data coordinator. And before that, I was already involved in Cares as an adult advisor for the Mayor's Youth Commission. Having worked at Cares for a while, I know how much the city really supports our efforts and work. So I really just wanted to thank you for your continued support of Siouxland Cares. I know the city is also participating in our wiffle ball tournament, so thank you so much for that. Before I worked at Cares, I worked at Rosecrans Jackson Center as a prevention specialist. If you ever have any questions about any programs we're working on or anything else that we're doing at Siouxland Cares, please feel free to reach out to me. Our other staff, or as you know very well, is Mary, and we do have another staff member actually coming on board this week, so I'll be excited to introduce her to you all as well. So thank you very much, and I'll let Michelle.
Yeah, as Mary mentioned, my name is Michelle Lewis, and I am employed by Siouxland District Health Department. However, I just do this in my volunteer time. But at the health department, I am involved with our community health needs assessment that kind of looks at the needs of the community, which substance abuse has always been cited as one of our needs. And then also our tobacco prevention grant through the Iowa Department of Public Health is through the health department that I oversee. So over the years, I've worked closely with Siouxland Cares on a lot of their initiatives. And so I've attended their advisory committees for nearly a decade. And then now in the last 3 or 4 years have been on their executive committee and now currently serving as president. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and I'm thankful for listening and speaking with you guys today.
Well, welcome to both of you. And Rachel, I just want to say Siouxland Cares is just an extremely integral part of our community. And I'm really excited that you're so enthusiastic about the position, because it's a lot of hard work, as Mary knows, and Mary serves so well, but it's a lot of hard work, but it's dedication, and it's oftentimes you have to just keep after it until you get the results that you're looking for, if you know what I mean. It takes time. So welcome to you, and it's good to see you again, and Michelle, good luck to you as well.
And I'd just add that Rachel and Michelle and Mary have been very active and do an outstanding job, but in addition to the three of these ladies, there are how many regular members that come to meetings? There could be 25, 30, 40, and they come every month. And I've not, in my whole time in city government, I've not met a group of people who are so committed to what they're doing as I have Siouxland Cares. So for that, and I'm sure for a lot of parents in the community, they really want to thank you for all that you do. And I do too, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a large group of volunteers.
Guys,
Yeah.
no doubt. Thank you. Good to see you.
Randy and Becky Hansen, come on up. Jim, come on up. We haven't had these for a while, so this is good to be back. Whereas you are to be commended for taking the time, the initiative, and the effort to create a beautiful yard that contributes greatly to your neighborhood and to the city of Sioux City. And you should be proud of the work you've done and the beauty that you've created. And whereas we thank you for allowing our citizens to enjoy your beautiful yard and for teaching by example the merits of beautification in a community. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby commend Randy and Becky Hansen of 1602 Morningside Avenue for exhibiting pride of ownership and being a recipient of the City of Sioux City's Yard of the Month Award. I'd like to present these. You didn't have the Morningside College groundkeeper sneak over and do a lot. Yeah, just making sure.
He just basically mows the grass.
I know. You did it. Say a few words.
Well, thank you for the recognition. There's a lot of beautiful yards around the city, and to be recognized like this is really a nice honor. And thank you. It's just putting a lot more pressure on me. I got to get out there. I can't be on the golf course.
Exactly.
Now I got to, take care of the yard. So you put a lot.
We all know who does the work, Randy.
Thank you.
This is our 11th year. Who knew? You can't do it alone. We've got Jessica Johnson from the city, Cheryl Reynolds, Gene Hansen from the Journal, Mimi Shanahan, and Lori Taylor, and myself, citizens at large, and we pull it off. Haven't cost you guys a penny for 11 years. It's just fun. You meet people like this and learn about some more gardening and things like that. So we'll do it. Keep it up this year. We're a little late, but we'll get it going.
Yeah,
Thank
terrific.
You.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Randy.
Great.
Keep it up.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
We'll move to the consent agenda, items 2 through 11G. You can consider the items to pass unanimously unless a separate roll call vote is requested by a council member. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and address so it can be used at a later time. You want to speak on an item not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concerns and again state your name and address, and remember that you'll be limited to 3 minutes. I'll move that.
Second.
2 is the reading of the City Council minutes of July 12, 2021. 3 is a resolution withdrawing the $500 penalty against Floyd Park Golf Course for violation of the Iowa beer, wine, and liquor laws. 4 is a resolution adopting plans and specifications for the Singing Hills Boulevard and Harbor Drive Drainage Improvements Project. 5 is a resolution amending the position classification manual and salary schedule by approving updated job descriptions for ASME appointed positions at the airport. 6 is a resolution scheduling a hearing on amendment number 1 to the amended and restated combined Central Sioux City CBD urban renewal plan. 7 are actions relating to the facade improvement program. The following items are resolutions adopting facade improvement programs for the Leeds corridor, the Riverside corridor, and the Peters Park corridor.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to ask Jeff Hansen, and Jeff, thanks for bringing this to council for approval. It's exciting to see these. Do you expect a lot of applications to be coming in?
Jeff Hansen, Community Development Operations Manager, and I have Chris Madsen, our Senior Planner, and Ryan Forrester, our Planner here as well. They've been tasked with leading the effort for our 3 new facade programs. If you recall, Chris was facilitating the Pierce Street Corridor facade program as well and has some experience working with that facade program. So we've started reaching out to these areas already. Morningside has already had a few meetings with our staff for the Morningside area, and they've shown quite a bit of interest. And so I've asked these guys to put together a couple slides just to further describe the boundaries and also the eligible properties so we can kind of get an idea of who's all eligible in these areas. But I think with our other programs we've had, Pierce Street, West 7th, originally the West End, or otherwise known as Historic Pearl, There was a very high success rate with those facade programs, most recently on West 7th. We've seen a lot of progress in that corridor. So I think with these 3 new programs, we will get a lot of applications.
Excellent.
Jeff, how are you notifying the property owners?
What we plan to do is have a public meeting in all 3 areas and either sending out letters, or we've even talked about internally just go door knocking and with flyers and actually meet the property owners and set up a meeting by meeting with those folks and then just, being able to answer questions right in front of them while we're meeting with the property owners. But we will be having meetings in all 3 areas.
Is this list of, you have 8 items listed, that's consistent with what the prior programs have
Correct.
allowed for?
The program guidelines.
It's really kind of neat to see them listed again because I forgot how expansive they are and how much it covers.
Sure.
What can be done.
We're pretty much following the exact same guidelines as what was done on West 7th, which is the most recent area.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Chris Matchett, Senior Planner. Over. So when we identified which properties would be eligible for the facade, at least initially, as we begin the process, we did want to focus more on the commercial side. One thing we did notice on the Pierce Street is the commercial properties are performing a lot better as far as maintenance and upkeep since the project was first approved and properties were able to utilize that. So this is the project area for leads. So it does include 51 total properties or parcels. And as Jeff stated, we do intend to send out a mailed notice that the funding is available and to apply. But we do also intend to go door knocking, door to door. And there is also a fairly active commercial club in this area that we'd be able to reach out to also raise awareness and probably utilize their meeting to raise awareness of the facade program.
Each storefront, isn't it, they're eligible for up to $60,000 with a 25% match?
Correct.
15,000, up to 15,000, depending on how extensive their projects are.
One thing with Pierce Street, we did Pierce Street a little bit differently. We didn't require a match initially, so for the entire program, we did see a 35% match. But then once the match requirement was in place and the award amount was increased, it actually went up to 42% private investment and 58% cities. So, yeah, once that amount went up and the match was required, we actually did see more private investment in the facade program.
They can actually apply over multiple years. So if they don't have the private match to cover the full $60,000, if they want to do projects over a few years, the $60,000 is per property, not per application. So they could come back multiple times. They just can never exceed that $60,000 total.
They could split it up.
They could.
Do a 2020.
Yep.
Budgeted accordingly.
Correct.
And with funding availability, that may be a good way to do it, to break it out over multiple smaller projects, and then they can resubmit for further elements in later years as funding's available. Riverside, again, the same. We wanted to focus on the commercial elements. Again, this may be at some point later down the road. We can come back in and hit the residential. We wanted to focus on that commercial piece first, and this would include 70 total properties.
Brian Forster, City Planner. I'm in charge of Peters Park Corridor Improvement. I identified 88 parcels. I had met with the Morningside Commercial Club to establish this boundary, and we have had quite a bit of interest. About 4 people have reached out to me already prior to the program starting, interested in participating. Again, we have focused on commercial and institutions besides city-owned properties, so churches have also been included within these 88 parcels.
Well, it's an excellent program, and it will benefit all of us to see that in place. And you think $60,000 total, Jeff, but when you look at your list of eligible projects or types of eligible projects, when you're looking at repair or construction of entryways, that can cost a lot. Cleaning, preparation, painting exterior walls and trim, removal of barriers to access for people with disabilities. Could be another very expensive or costly one. So I'm glad to see the $60,000 allocation to each property, because I think it will be used And it will be used wisely with the 25% matching fund. I assume that's why that's in there, plus to help just defray some of the costs. So, no, this is just really exciting, and I appreciate that the three areas are getting that attention. So thank you.
And I would just echo some of those comments. I think that these are incredible programs. I'm happy we've done them with Downtown Partners on a lower scale or a smaller scale. And, you know, we've done other ones throughout the community, but I'm excited for these three areas of town to be getting this ability to have increased funding, really to invest into their property. The only thing I would ask or really encourage you to do is, and we talked about this during the CIP, if you recall, was really having those meetings with the commercial property clubs, or whatever you would call them, commercial clubs, because I think it's really powerful, and I've seen it done in other communities where neighborhoods take on an identity. And where you collaborate together with your neighbors and say, look, we're thinking about doing this. What do you think about this for a facade? Would you be willing to do this? And I think when you tie that together, it really builds that neighborhood feel. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason you go to big cities and it's like, okay, well, this is that neighborhood and that's that feeling. And then this is, and you can create an identity. And I think that there's something inherently just cool about that, right? And then it becomes an experience where you want to go visit them. The second thing that I would really ask and encourage you to do is, I think whether it's photos or ideas or I know you can't necessarily do contractors if I remember correctly, but just with ideas of who they can maybe reach out to, because I think sometimes the creative process is difficult for others, right? Like if they don't see it, they don't understand what the vision could be. Like me, my head is always in the clouds about what could be about these businesses and properties and what we could do differently with them or those areas. And some people, it's really difficult to see. And so if they don't want to overhaul the entire front of their structure, but talking to them about, gosh, you know, you have a lot of people that come into your business. What about putting in a push button, you know, for ADA to be able to go in? Like you mentioned, churches are being included. Gosh, maybe that's something that could be included, or make your property more accessible. I mean, I'm just thinking selfishly about some of that. But I think, gosh, you look at signage, you know, blade signs, people don't understand what that is. Or, you know, in this community, we haven't adopted that a great deal. I think 4th Street has taken off, and I think some on 7th Street, they're starting to do more of that. But even those, you know, where do you go for a good blade sign? What could they look like? Or outdoor eating areas or anything else. I just think that there's a lot of opportunity there that sometimes the more conversations you have with them and idea generation that you have, I think the better the program can be. So I would just encourage you. I know you'll do some of that, but I just wanted to remind you from those conversations during CIP time.
Sounds good.
One of the requirements of the application is that we do meet with the property owner prior to them submitting so that we can go over some ideas like that. But obviously, we would also want to have the public meeting prior to that just to let them know that the program's available. Yeah.
And I know with Downtown Partners, too, it's been kind of a dialogue, right? Like they'll be able to submit and say, hey, this is what we were thinking. And then we'll be able to give feedback and say, well, have you thought about this? Or what if you do this differently or that? I mean, I just think that's really a beneficial conversation.
The list you have up on the screen has number 9 added to it, the public art and murals. And I think that's cool. I didn't see that on the list in the write-up, but that's good that that's being accepted.
For sure.
Across the board. So good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
8 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution awarding a service provider agreement to Westland Property Management Development for way-signing sign bases.
Mayor, I need to abstain on that item. Conflict of interest.
B is a resolution approving renewal option 1 to the service provider agreement with engineered controls for Heritage, Discovery, River Landing, and MLK Transportation Center ramps and for software support at the airport. C is a resolution approving a contract with Sioux City Engineering for the South Lakeport and Singing Hills Boulevard sanitary sewer manhole replacement project. D is a resolution approving a subordination agreement with Northwest Bank, the city, and Clayton Creek for the Clayton Creek subdivision. E is the resolution approving a First Amendment of the water tower lease with options between Pegasus Towers and Siouxland Communications to allow for month-to-month tenancy on the airport water tower. 9 are actions authorizing payments. A is a resolution approving a partial payment of a tort claim and authorizing payment. B is a motion approving total payments for June. When's our fiscal year end here, June? You didn't have to tell me that. All of a sudden, we had $55 million worth of checks go out. I could tell when it ended by the number of checks. 10 are applications for beer and liquor license. See the list and come forward if you have any questions. 11, receipt of minutes. A correction was made to the Sioux City Sports Commission minutes. Items 11G, Councilwoman Shaner was present, Scott was absent. See the list and come forward if you have any questions. This concludes the consent agenda. Anyone want to be heard on any of those items?
Mayor, I need to abstain on 10A1C, hotel renewal for conflict of interest.
Passes 5-0. Appointments to boards, commissions, committees. 12 is a motion appointing Adam Dean to the Library Board of Trustees. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 5-0. 13 is a motion reappointing Heidi Reinking to the Library Board of Trustees. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 5-0. 14 is a motion appointing Lexa Skov to the Library Board of Trustees to complete the balance of a 3-year term and reappointing Lexa Skov for a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Passes 5-0. 15 is a hearing and resolution determining area of the city to be blighted and an economic development area designated as urban renewal project and adopting amendment number 1 to the amended and restated Donner Park Urban Renewal Plan. I'll move that.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone want to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 16 is a resolution authorizing a 90-day delay in demolition property at 5 14th Street. I'll move that.
Second. Darrell, I want to just point out, part of the reason for your recommendation to the 90-day delay is because there's a new owner of the property. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, in the transition, during the time period when it was brought to council for the demolition request, there was an ownership change that was happening. There's been several different family members that have gone through the process with this house. We've got one now that is in the middle of making repairs to it. So all the required documents have been moved forward. So,
okay.
So that's actually in the works already?
Excuse me?
The restoration's in the works already?
There's been some things that the previous family members had done to the house during that time period that did not require permits. So they were kind of working on it here and there.
Did they have to get a bond?
Yes, I have that.
Okay.
It's $10,000 cashier's check is what I have.
Oh, good one. Good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Darrell.
Thank you.
Passes 5-0. Citizen concerns. Any citizen want to be heard, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Seeing none, we'll go to council concerns. Pete?
Darrell, get out of here.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask real quickly, and Bob, maybe if you check, I've received a complaint. I received a complaint from a citizen over the weekend about the building in the 300 block of Cunningham. And I don't know if it's just south or just north of Sioux City Veterinary Supply and in between where
It's the old turkey plant.
Is that what it is? Said that, I was going to ask you a question about I received a complaint over the weekend from a citizen who was concerned about the building in the 300 block of Cunningham. It's just north of Sioux City Veterinary Supply and
Old Swift Turkey Plant.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought it was Swift.
Yeah.
And all the broken windows. I drove down there over the weekend. There's a front door open and the back door open, or vice versa. I couldn't tell where the.
Just made communication with the owner. The owner lives in Sioux Falls now. There's a new one as of about the last 10, 12 months.
Okay.
And he has responded positively with phone calls in the past. So this phone call was up there not only for that, but also for the graffiti on the building.
Yeah, that's one of their major complaints.
Yeah, that's also been turned into the graffiti.
Is that the big
folks,
tall one?
So they can get that taken care of. It is on the second story, so they'll have to enter the building to do it.
Yeah, I think there was some inappropriate language on
Yes.
there too, so if they could. So you're waiting on the status of the building or the owner to respond?
The owner has responded. He should be down here, he said, the first part of this week to get it all taken care of, so.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
And in your conversations, I mean, if he's owned this now for the 10 months or whatever it has been.
Yeah, I don't know the exact date, but I know it was during the COVID time period that he bought it.
Sure. Does he have any plans? I mean, has he talked to our team? Or?
When I talked to him after his purchase, he was in the middle of a couple of larger projects in Sioux Falls, and then he was going to work on this after that. He wasn't determined yet on what he was going to do with it. He didn't know if he was going to try to do some kind of residential in it, or if he was going to do warehouse space, cold storage space, or what he was going to actually do with the building at that point. I told him that he needed to make a decision fairly soon, because with the amount of activity that we have there, it's a very attractive nuisance, and it'll have to be coming down in the very near future. It's dangerous.
I couldn't agree.
It's dangerous in there.
I've always wondered that ever since I've been in Sioux City. Well,
The bad part is when you go across the viaduct, you can see that building just as clear as can be, and it really doesn't represent that area.
It started out from a gentleman that actually purchased it on a contract, and all he was doing was in there stealing or taking copper out of a building he was buying on a contract, never made any payments for it, he just wanted the copper for free. He set himself on fire by cutting a live wire, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gosh. Is there a way to secure the building?
We have probably
They have in the past.
couple dozen times, I suppose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we do it constantly.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for checking into that. And the other thing I just wanted to mention real quickly was I just wanted to congratulate Steve Hansen on his appointment to the Iowa Economic Development Authority Board. And Steve, as you know, is a state representative and is the director of the Public Museum. And I think that's great that Steve was nominated, I think, by the governor. And Steve will do a great job. He's been a long-time city employee and runs the museum great, and I think he'll be an asset to IEDA, and just wanted to say congratulations and thanks for all he does. And that's all I have.
Julie?
I would just like to, again, please remind people to apply for this facade improvement program. We don't do these kinds of things very often. $60,000 towards your building is a lot of money. New doors, new paint, an awning. As Alex said, a blade sign. We have a blade sign at our place, and we're getting more and more. Just Google what facades look like. You know, you could put in a color, you could put in, you know, new brick, new stacked stone, you know, whatever it is, and, you know, thousands of images can come to you if you don't have that vision of what it could look like. I do know that the folks over on West Historic 4th, on the west side of town, kind of got together and they did a little matchy-matchy kind of a look, 3 or 4 of them, and to Alex's statement, it really does look nice. So the more people that we get on it, the better. I hope we run out of money. I hope that enough people use it. Secondly, I'd like to say a belated happy birthday to Mr. Gretkin on my left. He had a birthday yesterday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. He loved...
Yeah, thanks. Do I have to tell you how old I am?
You can if you choose. He's a fan of chocolate, hot fudge sundaes, and ice cream, and yesterday was National Ice Cream Day, so what a great day to have a birthday.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I am the senior member by age. Wouldn't take anything away, but I'm 72, and I'm trying to figure out how I got there, so I don't know. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Historian, yes. Yeah. Usually about the wrong things that I remember, you know. But thank you. And thank you very much for the card, too. It's very nice.
Alex?
The one thing I wanted to bring to the attention of council, I didn't know if you had heard about this or saw it. I think it was posted, and it's happened now a while back. I just wanted to commend Assistant City Manager Mike Collette on, they had a COVID vaccination clinic down at the MLK Center that actually went very well. Over the course of just a couple hours, I think they vaccinated another 30 people in our community or something like 28. And so I think that it's going to take those small efforts, whether it's different organizations or events or different things, where we can try to promote vaccinations in our community. I fear that what happened the last go around with COVID-19, I mean, you saw what was happening on the coast, and then eventually the Midwest was hit with a wave of infections. So I just fear that some of that same, I fear that same occurrence will happen with the Delta variant. So I would just really encourage members of our community that have not gotten vaccinated yet to consider doing so. Consult your physician, talk to district health. I'm sure they would love to give you some information. But yeah, I think that we need to be as proactive as we can protect our community. So our numbers are pretty dismal at best, even across the state of Iowa. Ours as a county are. So I think that we should really do everything we can. And especially when we look forward to next month, going back to schools and things like that, we need to be a good partner. And so I thank Assistant Manager Collette for helping organize that and doing a great job. So I think that's all I have.
Next Sunday, July 25th, is the last municipal band concert at the Band Shell in Grandview Park. I've been attending most, if not all of those, and last night it was just incredible, the turnout for the people that come and just enjoy the whole scenery, the music, some of Dave Madsen's jokes. Not all of them, for the record, but some of them. It starts at 7:30 p.m., runs about a little over an hour, and I'll tell you, Sioux City is so fortunate to have a municipal band of the quality that we have, and have the Grandview Park Band Shell available to us. It's just incredible. So next Sunday, if you're wanting some good music and good times, that'll be the last one of the season. I'm sorry to see it end for the season, because then we roll into the fall time, and here we go. So that's all I have, Mayor.
I want to just thank Rooted Boutique, I think is the name of the new place downtown. That's the first time we've had a retail project of that size come to downtown Sioux City in a long time. The ladies from partners, I think, are from Holstein, I understand.
Yep.
They have a store there, so we need to thank them for that.
Men's and women's clothing.
What's that?
They sell both
Men's and women's, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex, you know my office in Morningside, so I'm expecting some artist renditions, because you said you've got this vision for all this stuff.
Right.
I do, buddy.
I
I'm
can see
expecting
that
something
too.
nice to come back, and I'll
Yep.
apply for the grant. I normally don't, but I might on.
Yep, you should.
After
You
your
should.
artwork, I might see what we can do. I move we adjourn.
You should.
Second.
Moore,
Aye.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters,
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Bob, the one I've wanted to do